Yeah. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? We're back to follow up our smashing AVP episode with, of course, the sequel, Aliens with an S. It's not in the title. I had to fix that. Versus Predator Requiem, because everything needs, you know. I don't know. They did really, with the titles, they did do Alien. Alien 2 was not called Alien 2. It was called Aliens with an S. But then they did do Alien 3. And then after that, that was the end of numbers. And it's like after the 80s, most things, like not counting something, even after the 80s, like most series that had like multiple entries, they were like, let's not do numbers anymore. Like numbers, numbers are played out. You did all the numbers, so by the time you get to like, after 8 Friday the 13th, they're like, no more numbers. So it's Friday the 13th. It's like Jason Goes to Hell. It's not a number. I know they did do Jason X, but that's a little bit different. And the same thing here. Like everything just has to have like a word after it. And Alien and Predator all do that. You got Resurrection, Requiem, uh, Covenant, stuff like that. They just did away with numbers, which is fine, I guess. So Requiem, I haven't seen this in a long time. I probably haven't seen this all the way through since I saw it initially in the theater in, what was it, 2007? I've seen bits and pieces of it on TV in the years since, but I never really wanted to revisit it. But since we're on this Alien thing, and we did the other one, I thought for the hell of it we would do this. So yeah, this is on every single thing in the Alien and Predator franchise. All those movies are on Disney Plus for me because it has access to all the Fox properties, which is pretty convenient, I guess. So if anybody wants to cue this up, Orc and I are not actually at the beginning. We're 24 seconds in, where after the initial 20th Century Fox logo comes up, a second smaller one that says 20th Century Fox Presents. So if anybody wants to like get started for that, we'll give you another minute. But when's the last time you saw this? I know you own it because you own it in like a 2-pack with the other AVP.
Yeah, I own it on DVD and Blu-ray. And fun fact, I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
Oh, you didn't see it in the theaters?
Nope.
Hmm. Yeah. That's what's weird is I've
You know,
seen.
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought I saw it, and then people just said it was dark and like shitty,
Well, they're
like the
not
whole
wrong.
entire movie. So
Yeah,
I never really watched it, but I love the first one so much. So,
yeah.
but I figured, sci-fi and horror, why not? So
I don't think it's the massive drop off, but it's definitely a drop off. You know. Hello, Ben Grimm. Hey, you're so
I remember
punctual as
watching the
always.
beginning, and it was there's like jeeps with like Colorado plates or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
somewhere like Colorado or the Northwest or something. It's some town, which doesn't sound too bad, but then when you actually watch it, you're like, oh, it's like it's like suburbia. There's this whole. We'll get into it as we see. There's like this whole subplot, like of one of the guys. It's just like it's like we've seen in some of like teen dramas and stuff. And why is it in this movie? So it's like some guy, and I guess like he's not as affluent as the other kids. He has like a part-time job delivering pizzas, and he delivers pizza to the house of like other guys he goes to school with, and they're all like popular jocks, and they all like make fun of him and bully him. And like the main jock is dating this smoking hot girl that, of course, this guy is like secretly in love with. It's like this is a Predator Alien movie. Like, what the fuck is all this? And, but that is part of the thing because what we're gonna get here is we're gonna follow like several teenagers and a few adults through this town as they find out they have an alien problem, and I forget most of it. I don't even remember how it ends. I know it features like some sort of weird alien predator hybrid towards the end, which is kind of cool. Like if an alien that had incubated in a predator body, what the xenomorph would look like then, because one of the face huggers gets one of the predators, which is kind of a cool concept. But yeah, it is super dark. I'll see what this looks like here, but it's really hard to tell what's going on in certain
I think I
scenes.
tried to watch it like 2 times, and I was just like, "This is way too fucking dark. I can't
Well,
see it."
well, we're gonna get through it this time. But anyway, just to repeat before we start, we're going to start again. Is that Orc and I are actually about 24 seconds into the movie on the second 20th Century Fox logo.
Any format you have it on, it'll be at 24 seconds.
And it
The
says
second
20th Century Fox presents. So anybody watching live or queuing this up at a later date, that's where we're going to go in on. And as I said, since it's a movie you haven't even seen and a movie I barely remember, there's not much more I can say as an introduction. So let's just jump the fuck into it. So here we go. AVP will count down. We'll do a 3, 2, 1, go. So 3, 2, 1, hit play. Yeah. Requiem. Check my volume here. I don't even remember if it's like predators are like deliberately hunting xenomorphs here, or if it's just like a coincidence that they're both here at the same time. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see what we got here.
What do you see right now?
A shot of like the Earth or
Okay.
some planet out in space. Cheating, but I need the caffeine, which is too bad because like I've mostly for the last 2 years almost completely quit caffeine. Like sometimes some of the teas I drink. Oh right, this does pick up right after. Oh yeah, so this does pick up right after the last one. Remember how that the last shot of AVP is
Is the alien bursting out?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, that's what starts the whole thing here. Is we have this new alien. Well, it doesn't look new as a chest burster, but as it grows up, it looks different because it was which is interesting. Which is something interesting about the xenomorph biology, right? Is like they look different depending upon what kind of creature they incubate in first. Like the ones we saw in the first two Alien movies, they'd all incubated in humans, so they all had that look. But then in Alien 3, as much as I hate Alien 3, it incubates in a dog, so it's actually a quadrupedal one. I think it does. Man, I think it does. It's hard to remember now. It doesn't really matter, but I think so.
This is gonna be a long movie.
Yeah,
I have glare on my TV, so it's like even
we're not even
more.
at the dark stuff yet. Yeah, so there's our first casualty. They must force them to crash. They must crash. At least it makes sense. Yeah.
So is it like an alien predator
Yeah,
hybrid?
exactly. And maybe that's one of the reasons why it grew to maturity much faster. Because, this should be theatrical version, I believe, because I'm just watching what's on Disney Plus, so I would assume it's just theatrical.
Yeah, it's
Just
gotta
like
be.
last time, Orc had you had the unrated cut of the original. I haven't seen the unrated cut of either of these movies. I guess I'd like to just to see what the difference is.
Yeah, I was gonna watch. If this wasn't on HBO, I would have watched my Blu-ray that has both for both versions.
All right.
I've
The
never
movie's pretty
seen
quickly.
either of them uncut.
Yeah, I'd like to just to see what the difference is.
Too noob. I have to watch other movies that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm back in sort of a martial arts mode, so I'll be watching a lot of that stuff.
In October?
Yeah, I mean, I will do the horror thing because I do it in October, just like everybody. But I'm much of because I guess it's always a slower build for me in October. Like if somebody like on October like 3rd or something wants to start watching the Halloween series, that's fine by me. But I would never do that. Like the better movies and the more Halloween oriented ones, I save the closer to it. Like I would never watch any of the Halloween series like anytime before like the 20th, probably even later. The night of, I usually watch the same movies. The night of, I like to watch. It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Garfield's Halloween Adventure, Halloween's 1 and 2, and sometimes 6. That's usually what I watch on Halloween night. Although sometimes I mix other things in. I always watch The Crow on Devil's Night, and in the nights leading up to that, I'll watch other horror type things. It burns. So it is technically October now, but I probably won't ramp up the horror stuff for another couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna try to watch some martial arts stuff before that. Try to buy some. I want to own more. I don't own enough. Wish they were easier to get. right. So even the kid gets it. The movie's playing rough. Even the kid gets face hugged. I'm not sure how you got more face huggers though. Where did they come from? Because that first like alien predator hybrid that started it all, it's not a queen, so I'm a little confused. But anyway, they're like replaying the footage, and that's another thing that doesn't really make sense. Did you see that the alien seemed to have like the dreads? That's
Yeah.
not physically part of the predators. That's their masks, isn't it? Oh no, I guess they do have them. I always, yeah, okay,
No, they have
it
them.
makes sense. Yeah, it is part of them. Okay, I thought it was part of the mask at first. Yeah, so this is the predators. Like, I gotta go fix this shit, and he's off on some world. I don't know if it's supposed to be Predator world or just some world they took over. It doesn't, I guess it's okay to leave it up to the imagination, but yeah. So okay, so that's the plot of the movie. There it is. The predators that were leaving the site of the first movie in Antarctica had a xenomorph attacked them, crashed their ship there, and now this guy has to go get it. I don't remember this character. Is he a cop? He's a cop. Crested Butte. Yeah, so they're, I don't know, supposed to be somewhere in the Pacific Northwest or something.
I think that's a place in Colorado, like an actual place. I'm not sure.
I'm a big fan of JVCD. If you didn't already know that, you probably already knew that then. What is your favorite movie of his? Mine is not really one of his martial arts ones, although of course he does martial arts in all of them. Mine is Universal Soldier, believe it or not. I know you'd think it would probably be like Kickboxer or something, but Universal Soldier is my favorite.
You asking him or me or both?
I'll ask both. You can chime in too. What is your favorite movie of Jean-Claude Van Damme's?
Bloodsport all the way.
Bloodsport might be my second favorite. It's right up there. I'm Bloodsport over Kickboxer. They're both, they're two very similar movies with the tournament structure. I like Bloodsport a bit more because it's a little more over the top and because there's more variety in the fighters. I like how they show like fighters from all these different countries and cultures and stuff. You get to see some different fighting styles.
His friend, the gigantic white dude who's in the arcades with him and shit.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
He's great too.
I don't think it's exactly Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but closely resembles.
Oh, it's not actually him? I thought it was. All right, so here's our hero guy delivering the pizzas. See? He's like, I don't want to deliver it because it's a bunch of douchebags at my school. It's like, I don't care about that. Make the delivery. Or you're fired. So many movies have like a hero guy that delivers pizzas and always shows the reality is like it's like a terrible situation.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2.
Well, in his situation, the job isn't that bad. It's just that it just winds up dangerous. But, you usually have a boss that's like, do this or you're fired. They even do that to like Spider-Man. In Spider-Man 2, he's trying to deliver pizzas. And he's like, you're late, Peter. You're fucking fired. Except they don't say fucking in the Spider-Man movie. But they should. Yes, the Venom movie's out now. I'm kind of on the fence about whether I want to actually go see it. Another good thing about Disney Plus was that Free Guy movie, the movie with Ryan Reynolds. I was never gonna go see that in theater, but it's free on Disney Plus. Like you don't have to pay like Premier Access bullshit. So I watched that the other night. It's okay.
I heard Black Widow's free on Disney Plus now too.
Oh, I'll watch it again then. Oh, I was disappointed by that movie though. It starts off really good. Like the first 20 minutes, I was like, this could be one of the best movies, but then it goes down. Like it's not terrible or something. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's up to the standard of some of those other Marvel movies. I was disappointed in it. But I think a lot of people liked it more so. More people liked it that didn't. And a lot of the people, their favorite things about it were the things I didn't like. Like I did not like the blonde actress that was Yelena Belova or whatever, the other Black Widow. I didn't like how they changed the character from the comics. Sometimes I'm okay with changes. Oh yeah, see, so there's the girl he has a crush on, and of course she's dating the biggest douche at the school because it's really is true. I mean, you can say that's in movies, but fuck, I've seen that in real life. So this is even better. He has to go be humiliated by delivering. It's not that humiliating, really. I mean, he's only in high school. It's not like he's like 40 delivering pizzas. But I guess it's just a cruel school.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Ricky and Jesse. Can't have a drink. I'm on duty. The sacred job. See, and there they are mocking him. You deliver pizzas, you fag. Oh my god. Oh look, it's this. That's kind of a more of an '80s trope, like the blonde asshole jock guy. But I guess some classics never go out of style.
Is this guy the hero? This pizza guy?
More or less. Like these two are like our main characters, and I think that cop we saw in the tunnel too. They're like our main characters. Everybody else can just die.
Everybody else can just die.
Well, I mean they're gonna. It's an Alien versus
Yeah.
Predator movie. Because I mean, you have to have that human element, right? Because the aliens don't talk, and the predators speak a language we can't understand. So the only way to make an Alien versus Predator crossover work, whether it's a comic book or whatever or a movie, you have to throw humans into it. Otherwise, there's nothing really to follow. So people who wondered before it happened, what would happen? Look, now he's beating the shit out of him for no reason. You deliver pizzas to the place that my girlfriend. You spoke to my girlfriend because she had to pay for the pizzas. And there he tosses the keys in the sewer. What a douche. I mean, how unprovoked is that? And it's one thing they make fun of him, but then they just jump him, and now they're going to try to get him fired? Pizza
Must
boy.
have been shot like in Colorado somewhere. That's how all the trees look.
Yeah. It's very nice. But most of this movie takes place at night, and then you can't see shit, as you'll see. See, the sun's going down. Say goodbye to the last few minutes of visibility in this fucking movie. Yeah, so here's Ranger Rick or whatever.
There's the Colorado plates. And then the rest is just in the dark, the last like hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
Holy shit.
I just don't know why it's so dark. I mean, plenty of movies take place at night, but it doesn't mean you can't see anything. So we'll see how this looks. But I can tell you, like, as someone who saw it in the theater, you couldn't see a goddamn thing half the time. It was unbelievable. I've never seen a movie that dark in theaters before.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to come up with other movies that are that dark. I know there's a couple that I've seen, but I can't think of them right now. And of course, it's some small town, so everybody knows everybody, right? Everybody knows the cop. So he's talking about the hunter and his kid. Buddy Benson or whatever.
And that's how it is in like, I don't know how it was in Sydney and shit, but like, and the towns I've lived in Colorado and the towns I've lived in Maine, it's like really small town vibes.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
literally
Sydney,
everyone knows everyone.
I mean, Sydney kind of feels that way, but I just mean if some cop showed up, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a little different with cops because for a long time, especially even nowadays, my dad knows all the cops because of his job. But I don't know. Chest bursting. That's gonna happen to you next, buddy. Hello, Jamie. It's good to see you. How's it going? We're watching another classic, as you can see.
Jamie with the beamer. Oh shit. What up?
We lost Ben. He was supposed to tell me his favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme film. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, the soldier. So yeah, I forgot all about this person. We have another main character that doesn't die for a while. Some soldier named O'Brien. Yeah, they won't kill her. She's got kids. I know what you're going to say. Didn't they just kill a kid? Yeah, well, they're not going to, go crazy. They're like, we did it. We killed a kid. Now we got to ease up a little on the audience.
I
I
don't
think they
want to
might.
make
I
a
think he might
homo.
die though. I think her
I don't want
husband
to make
dies.
a homo comment, but I can't feel my ass. Ugh.
Gotta power through. This is important work we're doing.
there, there was a like ghost pepper chip challenge that a few people did on their thing earlier. Jay was on it. Yeah,
To eat like the whole. Oh, what's
there
the?
was like
How
10
big is it?
people on StreamYard, and they all ate like one really fucking hot chip, and like two people lasted out of 10, pretty much.
Does that mean they couldn't finish eating it? Is that how you win? You had to eat the whole
No,
thing?
they ate it, but it's like if you couldn't have water or like ice cream or anything dairy, you
Hmm.
know.
I think I could do something like that. Like spicy food isn't like something I'm always doing, but I just mean I'm one of those people that's always making stuff spicy, kind of even by accident. Because I find most food really bland. I garnish the hell out of everything I make. Like, there's no such thing as me just eating something. No, I had to like slather it in ketchup or three kinds of mustard or barbecue sauce, salt and pepper, the works. And if there's some sort of I put paprika on shit. I don't care. Like, so I think I've got a pretty good, or at least I used to. What's funny, about 3 years ago, just almost overnight, my mouth changed. I had bought a case of cherry Pepsi, and I returned it to the store because I thought there was something wrong with it because of the way it was burning my tongue. But no, it just changed. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't tainted. Like, because now even when I eat just barbecue chips that I eat all the time, I feel them way more than I used to.
Huh.
What's a special chip? I lost. What chip is she talking about? $100 for a chip? That can't be right. All right, welcome to Complete Darkness. All right, so we got the homeless guys living in the tunnel. So now I don't know if I could do it, and I don't. That's the weirdest thing is it was almost overnight that my mouth changed. I went from, you would think something like that would be more gradual. So now maybe I can't do it. Does the dog get one too? I'm not the guy. Is there any for the dog? Oh, it didn't quite get on him yet. Yeah, these are just homeless people living in the tunnels. Now they're all going to be killed and alien fodder. Wow, well, that game is too expensive for me to play then, for Christ's sake. I can't play a game where to get in is $100. They're out
What
of their
was it?
fucking minds.
What was $100?
Jamie says it costs $100 for one of those chips, unless it's some sort of joke that I'm not privy to.
It might, but he was sponsored, and he got them. Corey, the guy from S'mores Indoors, he got sent the bags for free.
Oh, okay, I could play then. But anyway, no, it's not a game I would play. My stomach is too unpredictable. Nobody wants to see me like vomit on air. Although I don't think that's what would happen, but
Ooh.
splashdown, our predator has arrived. So it's just one predator, I think. So it's one predator and a shitload of xenomorphs. But I'm sure we get to see that. Oh no, there's there's the alien predator too because it was on the ship. So the alien predators are around here too. That's pretty crazy. If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't spend that much money on food, but food is just so unimportant to me. I hate spending money on food as it is. I hate spending money on stuff that is going to be gone. I like spending on money on things I can keep. Food you can't keep. You eat it and then it's gone.
But what about the moment?
I mean, it's fine, I guess, and that's why, like, obviously, I have to eat to live, and I buy food, and I cheap out on most food. See, look at this. Like, what the hell, man? What are we looking at? I get it. It's in the forest. You know.
Oh my god, there's still an hour and 10 minutes left of this movie. Jesus Christ.
You'll make it.
If I can do it. It's all in the dark.
You can do it. But yeah, see the level of darkness we're seeing here. That's like every scene from now on. Except there's like some scene where the slutty. I'm slut shaming her for no reason because I'm a sexist prick. No, but it is kind of a slutty move because like she's still because that girl we saw, even though she's dating the blonde asshole, and doesn't just say, "Hey, you're an asshole," and for no reason you lashed out at our classmate there, and fucked with his job and attacked him. I'm not going to break up with you. Instead, I'm going to secretly, sneakily invite him to a sexy rendezvous at the school pool. I'm not kidding. That's what's going to happen. As if, regular shit. That happened to me in high school, of course. Popular girl asked me to meet her at the school pool. Of course, there's no such thing as a school pool where I grew up. We didn't have a fucking pool. For a sexy midnight swim. But that's going to happen. And that's like probably the best lit scene. The rest is all this kind of stuff. I mean, this I get. You understand when he's like in his ship and stuff. We've seen this in other movies. It lines up. He's just gearing up. We know the drill, Predator. Set some sort of timer. Now, the predators don't care about humans. They slaughter humans if they get in their way. So what is his impetus here? Why does he feel responsible to come down to Earth and clean up this mess? Is it just because the aliens killed some of his friends? Because, I mean, there's no reason he has to do this. He's off on another planet. He's like, oh, it turns out like that ship crashed and xenomorphs burst out and now they're dead. Like, it's not a rescue mission. They're dead. He can't save the other predators. They're dead. So you wonder about that. Okay, here's the soldier. Her handsome husband might get killed. I can't remember.
He's so handsome.
He's secure in his masculinity, even though his wife is a trained killer.
Spoiler alert, he's a faggot.
He's a beard. She's a lesbian, and he's using her, and she's using him so that she could adopt kids because it was before gay people could adopt kids.
I was just gonna say that they needed to adopt a kid.
So yeah, they're both gay in a fake marriage so they could adopt kids. This makes the movie much more interesting.
And start a cult.
Yeah, why not? I think she's like, I want Daddy to read it. I think it's also suggesting because Mommy's not good at reading stories because she's a coarse soldier.
She's a killing machine.
She must get to kill some of the aliens in this. I mean, why else set her up that way? I just can't remember. Ooh, these fucks.
This came out when I was a senior in high school, and it just seems like forever ago.
It was. I mean, it was like, 14 years ago? It's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so our hero has gotten his friend to help him find his keys in the sewer. I think his friend isn't going to last very long. This was a longer night than I remember, because he's going to go down and, I guess, find the keys, because he's still going to have time for his sexy rendezvous with the chick. So, obviously, this is a fake out. They don't get attacked by anything down here, unless his friend goes missing. In which case, it doesn't bother him enough to try to look for him. So let's.
Have you seen this once in the theater and then that's it?
And then I've seen pieces of it on TV here and there, but I have not seen it start to finish since the theater. I'm pretty sure. If I have, it would have been a long, long time ago. So I forget. I know that he's gonna wind up at the school pool with the girl, but I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Are they at a school pool that's indoors?
Yeah. Yeah, she left some sort of I don't know, like she had this plan all along, but she did something to the door. She put something in it when it closed so it wouldn't lock, so she could come back and they could get into the school at night. Like I have no idea when she planned this, but
Have you ever seen Swim Fan?
yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember too well, but yeah, it's like
Talk
some chick
about the
gets
ultimate
obsessed
way
with
of
a
a
guy,
chick
right?
fucking you over. Yeah.
She gets like obsessed with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she goes all stalker crazy and ruins his life, yeah. I don't remember it very well, but I remember what it is. Well, he
That's one
found
of
his
my
keys.
favorite movies just because it's so fucked up.
I'd like to see it again. I haven't seen it since like way back when it came out, probably.
Yeah, same here.
Was that close to this era? Was that like mid 2000s?
No, that was like early 2000s.
Hmm.
01, 02 maybe.
Yeah. This must just be a fake out here. Because obviously, if something happened, then he wouldn't go to the school. So maybe his friend gets killed after this. Oh, there's the fake out. So they see one of the. It's not just a rat. It's an. Is that supposed to be a xenomorph infected rat? Like you would think something that's smaller than if something is smaller than a face hugger, you'd think it wouldn't bother with it. But maybe they don't care. Maybe anything with a mouth works for them.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Anything with a mouth works for me.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know what this crap is.
I knew that was going.
It's like shed skin, I guess.
I guess this is why I never watched this movie.
All right, so they're not looking for the homeless people because no one gives a shit about homeless people. They're looking for the hunter and his kid. Well, I'm just saying, if some homeless people went missing, the cops would not do anything.
Unfortunately.
Commentary.
Is there?
In
Do
your
you guys
commentary.
have a lot of homeless people in British Columbia?
Yeah, I think so.
Since that's you're like California / Vegas.
Yeah, probably. I mean, even Halifax has a pretty good population of homeless people. They've got tents up and stuff. The cops took them down in some places. I mean, things get pretty serious.
How do they survive in the winter?
That's what I mean. Things get pretty serious. You know what it's like. I mean, it's bad to be homeless anywhere on Earth, but in Canada and obviously parts of the U.S., being homeless in the winter means you. I mean, every year people freeze to death. It's true.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, there is sort of an ongoing movement to try to do something about that. But I mean, this latest thing with the tents, I know some of the people, even though the cops took away their tents, they were put up at hotels, and some of them refused to go to the hotel. So I don't really know why they would do that, but because the hotel is a lot better than the tent.
Yeah, for sure.
And not to paint everybody with the same brush, but it's true that there's a big overlap between mental health issues and homeless, right? So there's a lot of homeless people out there that are like, they should not be on their own probably in any circumstances, but they fall through the cracks and stuff, and it's pretty bad. Back to Predator Jim.
Pouring that Gatorade.
Yeah, he basically anything that came in contact with the xenomorphs, he like melts. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's just a corpse now. The thing burst out of his chest and he's just dead. Oh, that was a Flatfoot. See, he's burning the facehugger, but remember, facehuggers. Well, either the facehuggers die or they just pass on to the next phase of life, right? Like they leave behind the facehugger. Like again, it's dead. It can't do anything anymore. Once
That was
they,
cool how he flashed his eyes.
yeah, I mean, there's still some cool stuff in this movie. It's not a complete train wreck, like some people say.
What do you think is a better movie, this one or Predators?
I kind of like this one better, even though it doesn't look as good, just because I don't like the Antarctica setting, and I also feel like even though there's no good characters in this, I feel like a lot of the characters in the first movie are too dumb to
Really,
live.
after AVP, the Predators is in Antarctica?
Well, I mean, in the first, I mean that's where AVP is, right? They're in Antarctica.
No, no, no. The newest one, Predators.
Oh, oh, you
Uh,
mean the 20? Okay, there's two. There's the Predator that came out in 2018, and there's Predator itself
the
with an X.
Predator, not the one
Okay,
with Brody. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
the Predator is the worst one, I think.
Really, no shit.
I hate it. Like, I really hate it. I'm gonna watch it again soon because I've been making my way through these movies, but it's I hated it, and I saw that in theater too. I've seen, as I said, ever since Alien versus Predator in 2004. I've seen all the movies in theaters, and
I gotta.
I did get to see Alien and Aliens as special screenings, so I did get to see those in theater too. Although obviously, not when they first came out. The first one predating my own birth.
Same here.
But yeah, and I have not. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch The Predator soon. I actually did recently watch Predators, the Adrian Brody one. It's okay. It's better than this.
I saw that in the theater.
Yep, me too. But The Predator is awful. I hated it. It just was so clunky and clumsy and lame. If I said it before, and I know it was directed by somebody else, but it really felt like Michael Bay was doing The Predator. It was so, I don't know. It was lame. It had a cool concept. It
Do
was the
you like
idea of like
Covenant more or Prometheus?
Prometheus. Prometheus is a little different, right? Because it's not exactly an alien movie. Like, it's tied into that world, and Predator turns into a direct sequel to it. But Prometheus is still one of the best looking movies I've ever seen. It looks fantastic. Okay, so he had time to string somebody up and skin them. I don't remember that, but okay. Thought you were hunting xenomorphs, Predator. Yeah. How many times have we seen this conversation in the Predators area? It's just like, how could a human skin another human? That's so inhuman. Well, guess what, people? It wasn't a fucking human. But I get why they wouldn't know that. But I'm just saying, we've seen this conversation like 5 times. In Predator, they're like, it was probably, guerrilla fighters. In Predator 2, they're like, oh, these gangs, they're savages. Okay, so it's not all in one night. Okay, so we do get some daylight again. We get another day. Okay. We're doing the classic slasher thing. Just a little bit sets things up one night, and then it's the next night when, shit goes down for real.
Who steals a mask, rope, and a knife?
Probably just teenagers. Like, did you break up with your asshole boyfriend? Or yeah, see, do you want to go swimming tonight? What?
Colorado. I wonder where this was shot though in Colorado.
What's up, Cable Channel 11? We are well. Thanks for joining us
Jess.
for this
Yo.
amazing classic. Okay, she said he's been fired, so I guess she's saying she did break up with the dick. Good for her, moving on really fast. I mean, that's what you can do when you're a hot girl.
She wants that D.
Yeah. This is supposed to be the down on his luck guy. We're supposed to feel sorry for him, but I mean, how often does this really happen? The hot girl's like, "Don't worry, I dumped my stupid boyfriend, and now I want to have a sexy midnight rendezvous with you at the school pool." Like, I wish I could say that happened to me when I was 16, but it didn't. What's checking on Predator? Oh, he's following the trail into the tunnel. Not sure why it took him this long. One thing the aliens don't do is like hide anything.
Because
They
they
kill and
suck.
they kill and they breed, and that's what they do. And the predator hunts. You know, I like Adrian Brody fine, but Adrian Brody's so miscast in Predators. Like, he's just, you can't buy him as a tough guy at all. Like, you know, he's this badass mercenary and he's the one that survives and everything.
I
And I
like
almost
seeing
feel like,
Morpheus in that film.
yeah, he's cool in that.
Yeah.
But like Adrian Brody, I think he realized he was miscast, so he's just trying so hard to be tough guy. So he does like the Christian Bale Batman voice through the whole movie. He's like, and it's so bad and embarrassing.
That's pretty funny.
One of the many movies that Danny Trejo pops up in just to get killed. Like, Danny Trejo, you have quite the career. Be in a movie, be
That's right, he
intimidating and
did die
tough,
in that movie.
and get
Yeah.
killed. Pretty interesting seeing Topher Grace, too. I don't dislike Topher Grace, but he feels wildly out of place in any movie I see. But that's pretty fresh in my mind because I watched it like a week ago. So really the only thing left for me to do is watch The Predator, which I'm kind of dreading because it's terrible. It
What
makes
about
Predators look
Covenant?
amazing, but I already watched Covenant.
Oh, damn it.
Covenant's such a frustrating movie because it could have been good, but you know,
Why didn't you wait for me?
you want to watch Covenant? We can do Covenant. I'll never shut up during Covenant though, because like I
It's
said, with
alright, I watch all these movies on mute.
like I'm at peace with like these movies being bad, but Covenant still bothers me because it's part of the. I mean, I
It's
hate.
got Danny McBride, man.
Yep. He doesn't really do anything, but yep. Actually, it has a lot of good actors in Wasteland. One of my favorite actors is Billy Crudup, and he's the captain. And through the whole movie, they make a point of him being incompetent and stupid. That makes me sad. See, like, what the hell's going on here? I get it. The alien and the predator are having a fight, but you can't see shit. Between the darkness and the quick camera cuts. But I mean, this editing was all the rage in the 2000s, and we still see it today. You'll hear me bitch about it in, you know, more straightforward action movies and martial arts movies. It's like, there's nothing wrong with cuts. Editing, you do cuts, but just the way they do these fast cuts that came into fashion for movies like, you know, the Bourne movies and fucking the Taken movies. This is obviously a bit different because it's Predator and aliens.
Yeah, I never saw Taken 2 or 3. I love the first one, though.
They're both decent. They're on about the same level as the first one. You would probably think they were okay.
I saw all 3 Bourne movies. They were fun. Or was there 4? 3 or 4, I saw them all.
The fourth is a little different because it's not Matt Damon. So it's more like a Bourne spin-off.
No, I haven't seen the 4th one, because it's the guy in
Jeremy,
the town, Renner,
Jeremy
right?
Renner.
Yeah. Yeah, so I only saw the first 3.
Most people would say Hawkeye. That's a good
Which
pull
one
to
has
town.
the hot chick who's helping him out? Which one was that?
The first one. I mean, usually almost all the movies he winds up with some hot chick, but I mean, probably the first one is who you're thinking of. Because I mean,
Yeah.
there's a hot chick in the Jeremy Renner one too, although I couldn't tell you who it was. Who are
I
these
remember
people?
one has a car crash, and the car just tumbles for like fucking 2 minutes straight.
My favorite part of the first one is the car chase. Because as much as I'll get, you know, I'll shit on like some of the action sequences and say, you know, they do stuff what's wrong. It has a really good. Yes, I do cable channel. Although, for like since COVID, even before COVID, because I was sick, I had to take time off. So it's been almost 2 full years since I've done any formal. But yeah, I trained Taekwondo and Muay Thai. I'm fantastically mediocre in both, but I am hoping to get back to it when things stabilize. I was too
So is
broke.
this the alien predator?
No, actually, I'm pretty sure it's almost impossible for us to see. But in the sewer fight, he actually fought the alien predator for a second, but it got away.
Oh, I
That was
just
just
saw it. Was it right
that was
there?
just that was just an ordinary human-made xenomorph. Yeah, that's her name. Run Lola Run's so good. I hadn't seen it in so long, and I watched it again about a couple months ago. It's a great movie. But yeah, Taekwondo and Muay Thai is my martial arts background, although I'm really out of shape and out of practice. And I need to get stretching again because I was never flexible to begin with, and I know I've lost some of the flexibility that I gained, and I'm not getting any younger, so I have to get back and doing some stretching and stuff because, like, I can still do a spinning hook kick with my right, but with my left, it's a train wreck. It looks like a 5-year-old trying it. But as I said, I'm kind of in a martial art mood. I want to watch some of the movies, but it's another thing I'm thinking I need to get back to my school, which has moved in the time since I haven't been there. It's now at a different place. It's too bad because it used to be so close to me. It was super convenient. Now it's not like far, but it's a lot further. Still, should be able to get back. Yeah, Taekwondo is really fun. It's like 90% kicks. Taekwondo is like all kicks. Like if you had to choose between Taekwondo and karate, I guess which are very similar. I guess it really depends upon your personality. I didn't necessarily pick Taekwondo over karate. I just sort of picked the school I went to, which was Taekwondo, kind of for proximity. But karate is just a little more regimented than Taekwondo. Taekwondo is a little more free, which is better for somebody like me. I mean,
It's
you
all
still have
about
to
kung
learn
fu.
patterns and stuff.
Kung
I mean,
fu.
I would love kung fu, but I'd be bad at it because kung fu is very artistic. I mean, they're all martial arts, right? So they have the artistic side to them. But kung fu is all, if you've seen it, very sweeping, especially like wuxia stuff, very elegant. Like, I'm bad at it.
Like this?
Sure. There must be a kung fu
That's
school
like
around here
that's
somewhere.
chi, isn't it? When they go like that.
Well, it's about managing your chi. Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
redirecting the flow of energy in your
I
body, which
fucking
is
love
chi.
Tai Chi, dude. Tai Chi is the shit.
I mean, lots of people do tai chi around here, just the soft kind. Down at the public gardens and stuff, you'll see people practicing it. But yeah.
When you see someone who's like
I wish
really,
I'd
really
started
good at
Taekwondo
it.
when I was young because then I would have had flexibility. Like I didn't start until I was like 30, and I haven't Apparently, I was super flexible when I was like a toddler. Apparently, I could do a full splits when I was like 4. And I always tell my parents, "Why didn't you tell me to keep doing it? Now I'm stiff as a goddamn board." Oh, here we go. It's sexy
Oh
swim
yeah.
time. We don't want any cuts there. We want to linger. I like how she just came to swim in her underwear too. Like she didn't even take a swimsuit. What? She doesn't waste any time. I'll give her that. I mean, I get it. She feels bad that her ex-boyfriend beat him up, but way to make up for it. I'll invite him to the school, and I'll strip down to my underwear and make out with him. Oh, I don't remember this. Is this? Oh, did she get followed by the ex in his backup? I think that's what happens. Yeah, they followed her. Jeez, if they're gonna beat him up for just delivering pizzas, what the fuck are they gonna do to him now?
It's like let the right one in.
They're gonna drown him. Well, I mean, even at an older age, something like Muay Thai wouldn't be bad if you're interested. Muay Thai doesn't quite require the amount of flexibility.
Muay Thai is so dope.
Yeah. It's because it doesn't rely on the flashier kinds of kicks. I mean, you still are going to need some flexibility to pull off, good kicks and stuff. But plus, it's much more hands oriented. Gives you a good boxing base and everything like that. Thing is, I still remember I'm decent with my Muay Thai techniques, except my footwork has gone to shit. So that's I have to start practicing that again too. Because like the first things you learn in Muay Thai, besides like the basic punch combos, are like how to step in and out of range and side to side. And that sounds really easy, but it's not. At least it's not for me. It's something I really have to think about. It took a long time for me to get to the point where I didn't really have to think about it. And now, since I haven't done it in so long, it's all gone out of my head. Now I have to think about it again. So yeah, I mean, when you see like professional kickboxers or MMA fighters, sometimes it's easy to take for granted like how much work went into just simple things like their movement. That's maybe the main thing I learned when I started training Muay Thai was like the average person who doesn't train takes for granted that like controlling distance is easy or automatic. It's not. It's one of the reasons why a trained person can beat up an untrained person like in a street fight most of the time. Because the average untrained person doesn't really have a good concept of where their reach ends or where the other person's reach ends. And so they think they're out of range and then they'll get like smashed in the face. The other thing is head movement is something that we probably take for granted too. Like I can remember training Muay Thai and like I'll have the teacher or whatever like tell me, okay, it's coming for your head. He's telling me it's coming for my head. And I still don't move right or in time. So like, yeah. So head movement again, it seems like a common, it seems like common sense. It seems a reaction. Oh, somebody's punching your head, move your head back. That's common sense. But your body doesn't actually work that way. You actually have to think about it or train the muscle memory into it. So yeah, because I can't tell you how many times I'll get popped even though they tell me it's coming. And I think of myself as having good reactions, but with the head, I guess it's a little different. Because either I won't react quickly enough or I'll super overreact and like jump backwards, which you're not supposed to do. All right, so this maybe her gay husband gets killed here.
What is it with gay people? Taking our jobs and adopting all of our children.
I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't mind just making some children and having other people adopt them. I mean, making it's the only part I like about children. All right, so there goes handsome hubby. Didn't she have 2 kids? Wow, did they kill one of her kids? Or no, maybe they just had one. Whose body is this? I can't even keep track. There's too many fucking characters. Of course, don't worry, they're getting whittled down quickly. There'll only be a handful of characters in a few more minutes. Oh, Predator got you. See, there's some cool stuff in the movie like this. It still is Alien and Predator. There's still some cool stuff. It's just this is at the pool, which you can barely tell, but it's at the pool. Off to the vista. That stuff works even in water. Oh yeah, I don't even remember what this is. I don't. Does he even know what's happening? But yeah, like I don't think they know what's happening. I don't remember what prompted this. Okay, the kids from the pool are alive. Oh no, Mark's dead. Well, 2 of them are dead. Wow, I missed that. So easy to miss stuff because it's so dark. Oh, that's not a good idea. And I get that it's nighttime, so the lights are off, but and they were worried about getting caught. But can't the cops turn the lights on? Or no, maybe the power got cut. Maybe that's why all those people were. Look, it absorbed all the water. Forgot that little the stuff when the predator killed the alien at the pool, it dropped the body into the pool, then it poured more of that blue stuff on, and I guess it absorbed all the water because the pool's empty now. I don't know what happened to the bodies of the kids. There's some of their blood. Wow, nobody took him seriously. He got to come back with one cop. I know my cardio is all shot to hell too. I was going to run over the summer, and I ran like maybe 3 times the entire summer. That's not good enough. I've always taken for granted that once I start training again, my cardio comes back. But like I said, I'm getting older now. I can't take that for granted anymore.
You should do a video on your channel about like Cole's night cardio running stories.
They're not very interesting. I mean, I do run late at night, but I don't see anything that interesting. Sometimes I kneel down in the middle of the street, but I know not to do it for too long because I don't need the cops to find me and think I'm mentally ill and tell me to move along. But I guess I sometimes just sort of enjoy that. I'll stop my run and I'll be in the middle of the street and I'll just kneel.
Remember the one time with that guy?
When I was running?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. What did I tell you?
You're out late at night and like he kind of like kept following you. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah, that was years before I was running though. I was just out for a walk.
Yeah.
That was before I was running. Yeah, no, I've been it hasn't happened in a while, although
that must have been fucking creepy.
Yeah, several times in my life, due to being out late at night by myself, which is not smart, I've been followed and even propositioned by various men. No, you're right. One wasn't that long ago. Yeah, the one where I said I had to walk all the way across the field in the mud and got my shoes all messed up. Yeah, so that was probably the last time that happened. So that was what, like 3 years ago? So that wasn't forever ago. But I mean, yeah. There were a couple times those things happened in my 20s and even into my 30s. I have a very twinky look. Yeah, so I don't remember why. Like, I guess I guess there's a power outage. Something that happened between the alien and Predator knocked out the power, and people are missing. So I guess it's sort of a general emergency. I don't fucking know. Oh, that's right. She was working at the diner. She's like related to him in some way. Maybe it's his wife or his daughter. I don't know. Again, it's not worth knowing these people's connections to each other. Cue Keanu saying guns. Lots of guns. I recently watched The Matrix again. I was going to watch the sequels, and then it was just too depressing.
What do you think of the trailer for the new one?
Well, that's what made me decide. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it credit in that it doesn't seem to be giving away a lot of stuff. Like, I genuinely don't know what's going on. So it has that air of mystery to it. It's like, I want to know what's going on. You know, Ryan, I'm sure you know that Ryan, that's like his favorite movie. I was never a Matrix fan. You know, it came and it went, and I was fine with it. And I don't like the sequels at all. But I mean,
didn't me, you, and Jay watch The Matrix, the first one, like on his channel, like a long ass time ago?
Probably.
I thought we did.
Like when I watched it again a few weeks ago, it felt like it was the first time in a really long time that I watched it. But maybe it hadn't been that long. I don't know. But I was like, okay, time to watch the sequels. I was like, no, there's no point in putting myself through this. I mean, the first one is pretty dated and shows its age, but it's still cool. But I can't get anything out of the other two. I feel like they really run that story into the ground. I mean, the original story doesn't really make any sense either, but that's okay.
I haven't seen them.
You never saw the second and third?
Nope.
You really don't need to. And I'm not just saying that like because some people it's like they loved the first one, so seeing the second and third one upset them because they loved it. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm just saying they're just kind of bland and forgettable. And the only good moment I can think of in the last two is in the second one. There's a really cool sort of like highway chase that's done really well with like
Is
some
that
cool
with the
effects and stuff.
motorcycles?
Yeah, I'm sure there's at least some motorcycles involved, but there's also like some sort of like armored truck or something. There's like fighting on top of a truck. It's a pretty cool sequence, but
I've
the movie
seen
as a
parts
whole is
of
not
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of martial arts, there's an Asian guy in the second one that does some martial arts. I don't know who he was, but they had originally offered the role to Jet Li, and he turned it down because I think he thought it was stupid.
Really?
That might not be exactly why. He was probably busy with other projects too, but I think he was clearly like not impressed and wouldn't want to do it. Which might have been a blow to the Wachowskis because that whole dojo scene in the first one where he and where Keanu Reeves and what's his name fight. That's all inspired by a movie that we did together a few years ago. My favorite Jet Li movie, Fist of Legend. Like that's what that whole scene is based on, is on the Fist of Legend fight scenes in the dojo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, really, over here in the West, like the bigger two of the bigger proponents for like bringing some attention to like some of those awesome Hong Kong action stuff and older stuff is definitely like the Wachowskis and obviously what's his name, Tarantino.
I thought you were gonna say Austin Powers.
Austin Powers isn't a real person, he's a character. All right, so who are we got here? We have a couple random guys. The cop, the blonde, the boy. And they're there to get some guns. It wasn't a terrorist attack, you fools. Oh, is that the soldier? Yeah, that's the soldier and her daughter. Bigger group than I remembered. See, this all seems to have potential. It almost has like sort of a Resident Evil type vibe, right? Like a bunch of survivors like showing up, meeting up in a gun shop in a city that's going to hell, and the power's out. Like reminds me a lot sort of Resident Evil, but obviously it's not zombies.
Zombie.
I haven't watched any zombie movies in a long time. I'll probably watch a few this month.
What's your favorite all time?
Oh, Ben, I do watch it on the 5th of November. I absolutely do that.
V for Vendetta?
Yep. Been doing that for years. That script was written by the Wachowskis. I think it's a pretty good script. I know that, Alan Moore hates all movies based on his stuff, and he's right to hate most of them, if not all of them, but I think V for Vendetta is pretty good. And another Matrix link, of course, is that V is played by Hugo Weaving. Really good performance. Remember, the 5th of November. I think that's the hybrid alien. That's the Predator alien, I think. When are the lights going to come back on? Never. You're not going to have well-lit scenes. Oh, a pregnant woman? Man, they're really stirring everything up. Yeah, that's the Predator alien. See, he's got the dreads.
Yeah.
So he's like the main antagonist of the movie. I guess they're trying to show, it would make sense, right? Like an alien that came from a predator would be more badass than an alien that came from a human. So they're really playing him up as sort of the man antagonist. Now, does he have predator vision? Is he going to know that she's got a baby? Oh, that's different.
What the fuck just happened?
It's doing the thing that a facehugger does.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
So that's okay. Remember when I said before, like, I said, well, wait a minute, where are these face huggers and eggs coming from? That's why, because something I guess about the predator biology makes this thing some sort of like hybrid queen. Like it's not as big as a queen, but it can produce eggs like a queen. Okay, forgive me for forgetting that detail, because fuck's sake, I haven't seen this movie in a million years, and it's not exactly the most memorable movie. But again, they're trying stuff out. They're trying different things. It's kind of a neat idea. I'll still take this movie over The Predator. I hate The Predator that much. Really, in these series, there's movies that I love, some movies that are more mediocre, and movies that I hate. The only one with a Predator I truly hate is The Predator. And the only one with aliens that I truly hate is Alien 3.
You don't like Jordan Peele? Or what is it? Key? Or whatever the fuck. Who's
Yeah, I
in
think
the
it's Keegan
Predator?
Michael Key. He's in
Yeah.
Predator. No, I don't. That's one thing. Like, it has this weird, goofy vibe because the whole thing is like the main characters are a bunch of guys that are like they're like ex-military guys, or I guess they're still technically military, but they've been pulled off duty because they've got various like issues. Like most of them are suffering from PTSD and stuff, and that's kind of the angle the movie runs with. But it's like, oh, we're a bunch of misfits, and like they're cracking jokes and acting. It's bad. It feels like that A-Team movie. So this is where the Predator. Oh, lie to your heads.
Rampage Jackson.
I mean, he's fine for that role. He seemed like the logical choice, really. I mean,
I remember when he lost, he was like, God damn it, I should have never done that movie
yeah.
in the UFC.
I mean, he's got every excuse in the book. But the fact of the matter is, Rampage never liked training to begin with. Training was never his thing. I'm not saying he didn't ever train. I'm just saying, like, compared to what a lot of professional fighters do, he did not train as hard as they did. Like, you know, if he wanted to skip a day, he'd skip a day. If he wanted to eat some pizza, he'd eat some pizza. You know, he wasn't going to, like, you know, follow a strict diet or anything like that. That just wasn't him. Because he had so much natural talent. But at the highest level, natural talent only carries you so far, right? We're not going to go all into that. Fucking John Jones. Oh, my God. Can the UFC cut him now, please? I mean, enough. Ooh. My captions say flatline sounds.
You read? Wow. What a noob.
Well, I have to have the volume down, so I got the captions on. Oh, right. So now it's like her baby. She's still alive, and now her baby has been infected by the alien embryo. It's kind of a neat idea. Look, it's a whole bunch of them, which is also an interesting idea. That they do in one of the Alien comics later on. That there's like a sort of a new breed of alien that like it can implant more than one embryo in a person, and that's what
multiple
the Predator.
babies.
Yeah, that's what the Predator alien just did. Okay, she's screaming, so she'll probably die.
How does this movie end?
I don't remember. They might like nuke the town. But maybe I'm getting them mixed up with Resident Evil Apocalypse. Parts of this movie remind me of Resident Evil Apocalypse.
I like that franchise, and I only haven't seen the final chapter. That's it.
That franchise pisses me off so much.
I like it. It's mind-numbing action.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just mean, people don't need to hear me go on, but I just mean when you have like games that are like Resident Evil, you know, like it's such a long, winding story. Like you can't really contain that in a single movie, and they have to make them all actiony because you know what made the early game so great, you know, does not translate into a movie, right? You don't need to watch somebody walking through a mansion by themselves, reading files and things like that, and occasionally shooting a zombie. But I just mean, yeah, just not everything translates into a goddamn movie. And they were like, I know we can fix this. We'll just invent a badass action girl. They just invent Alice out of thin air, and she'll flip around and do. I don't know. The 2000s was really an era of like action that I find really annoying, and the Resident Evil movies are a big part of that. I'm not saying I don't like over the top action stuff, but I just mean I don't know. Didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, what did the 2000s have?
That was actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, in the West, not much. I mean, I can think of some Chinese movies that were pretty good. Like Killzone or Flashpoint.
Die Hard 4. That's not much.
Die Hard 4 is okay. That's the same year as this movie, 2007. I'm okay with Die Hard 4. My biggest problem with it is they probably should just called it something else. Like, it didn't really feel like Die Hard to me, but it's not that bad.
John Wick wasn't out yet.
No.
Um,
Was before the Raid.
Yeah, you're right. From
the 2000s was like weird over the top stuff like Resident Evil, Underworld. Remember Underworld?
Yeah.
Which was obviously very influenced by stuff like Blade and The Matrix.
Yeah, and Blade was 98, the first one.
And then the other ones were 2000s. I'm saying some of those movies were good, but they really set the tone for what action movies will be throughout the decade, and a lot of them are just crappy, including the two Alien versus Predator movies, which aren't terrible, but God, could have been a lot better. A lot of people think this movie's terrible, and maybe they're right. I haven't been paying 100% attention, so who knows?
I don't think it's that bad. It's just, it's really dark.
Yeah. I like the location better. The other one's just, it's all down in like some stupid temple in Antarctica and a bunch of mazes. And then at the end, they're out in the snow for a few minutes. Like, at least this moves around. Like, it's in a city, they're in buildings and streets, there's sewers. At least they're moving stuff around. I like that much.
Yeah.
So that's like the main reason. It's environment. I don't think it's better written. I don't think the characters are better. And the action is probably not, if it's better, it's not much better. I just like the environment a lot more. I mean, environment can mean a lot to me for certain things. And I think there's something I saw recently, and the environment's like the number one reason I don't like it. But now I can't think. Like, what does the Army even know at this point? They're talking about, like, the Army's plans. She's talking about containment. Like, they know for sure that there are weird alien creatures around, but most people don't, because everybody else who's seen them is dead. See, that's the other thing that makes me think of Resident Evil Apocalypse, because they're all trying to get to a helicopter to get out, which is how Resident Evil Apocalypse goes. They're all trying to get out of the city and get on a helicopter to get out. I was going to say about environment. That's the main reason I hate Alien 3. Obviously, I hate Alien 3 for the story choices they make. Everybody knows, they just kill Hicks and Hicks and Newt off screen like they're garbage and don't matter, and make it seem like everything that happened in Aliens was for nothing. But also, even if you take that out, Alien 3 is just the worst environment ever. It's this crappy, bland prison colony, and every single scene looks like absolute shit because it's supposed to, because it's a prison colony. So it's not as dark as this, but it's dark and drab and boring, and all the characters are just a bunch of male inmates with shaved heads, and I just find it really awful.
Which is the one that ends where they fall into, like, the fire? Is that 3 or 4?
That's 3. Because, at the end they go to, like, some weird big, and they lure it so it falls into the fire, and then she goes into the fire too, because then you find out she was infected. A chest burster bursts out of her just as she drops, but she planned to kill herself anyway. But no, I hate everything about 3. And environment's a big part. Everything just looks so drab. But Ben named some of the actions. See, and some of those are legitimately good. Mission Impossible runs hot and cold. Sometimes its action is really good. Sometimes I think it sucks.
I consider that 90s, though.
Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
I mean, really, only the first one was in the 90s. And
Yeah.
that's definitely a case of early installment weirdness because the first one was not particularly actiony. It was more, it was more of a spy thriller type thing. It was the
I
second
guess if
one that
you
changed
go,
everything. John Woo directed it, and then it became like a big action franchise after
and
that.
I love that soundtrack. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Metallica and Limp Bizkit, fuck yeah.
You know that I like lots of Metallica just fine, but I mean that's a terrible song.
Hey, 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 here cold goes now.
Now I know why you want to hate me.
No,
So,
I don't why you wanna hate.
upside down wheelchair. That's not good.
You know those are two different songs, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I was just
The second one is, Limp Bizkit's weird take on the Mission Impossible soundtrack. So it does have that good riff, dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
which is pretty cool. But then you get, Limp Bizkit might have been a decent band if you just took the singing out. If you took Fred Durst out, some of their songs don't sound that bad. But you put Fred
No,
Durst in there,
no, why you wanna hate me?
and it's immediately awful. I mean, I think he's the worst frontman of all time, and I don't think that's really a controversial statement. Tell me a worse frontman for it has to be a popular band, like a band that's actually sold millions of records. Like who is a worse frontman than Fred Durst? Who is worse at it?
uh,
I mean, I can think of lots of guys that I think are overrated, but that doesn't mean they're bad. I just think maybe people think they're better than they are. But I mean, who's like that bad?
I don't know. Significant other and hot dog flavored water, whatever the fuck it's called. Chocolate
It's like chocolate
starfish.
starfish and the hot dog. I hate that I
Those
know
are
that.
still two albums that I find fun listening to.
I really like one of their old songs from like their first album called Counterfeit.
Counterfeit,
But
yeah.
again, I would like it more if it was somebody not Fred Durst doing the vocals. Like
Well,
pretty
I
much
guess it would be
just replace Fred
nice.
Durst with anyone, and then Limp Bizkit would become a much more likable band. To me, really, it is him because they do have some interesting riffs and some good musicianship. But for me, just Fred Durst ruins the whole thing.
The lead singer of Linkin Park.
Chester or something. I mean, he
Yeah,
was good. I liked him.
but he's dead.
Yes, he's dead. Pretty sad. He had like 5 kids or something.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. And I mean, he committed suicide. So, I mean, I know DMX just died, and he had like 15 kids or something.
Yeah.
Legend.
X. That's my dog.
DMX and Limp Bizkit have that in common. They were two of like the only hip hop acts at Woodstock '99.
Yep.
I recently watched a documentary about it. It was a good documentary and stuff. But I remember people were talking about DMX's set being so different and interesting. Of course, because it is. Because it's the only time DMX would have had an audience that big. Because I mean, nobody has an audience that big, right? We're one of the biggest audiences ever, like 400,000 people or whatever. But also the fact that unlike almost all of DMX's concerts, he has an almost exclusively white crowd. So people were talking about how it was interesting that he was taking them through songs and getting them to sing back. Lots of songs that used the N word, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, that's DMX's choice, though. Nobody's making him do that. They were making it seem like DMX did something wrong or irresponsible. I'm like, it's music. Like
Was
I
that the
don't.
one on? Was that on HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a Canadian, my favorite part of that entire thing is like they're interviewing various artists that have been part of it, right? And one of the people they interview is Moby, who I always
Uh,
found is a really annoying kind of douche. Anyway, and early on, Moby's talking about his early impressions, like when they first got there, and while he's doing voiceover like in the present, talking about that, but then it shows like footage of them showing up, and it's like Moby and his crew or whatever, and they're entering, and they see the sign that has all the artists performing on it, right? And of course, you have huge names, but remember, there's multiple stages, so there's smaller names. There's a lot of smaller names that performed at smaller stages there too, right? And this included some of the lesser known bands. And my favorite part is one of those was Canadian band Our Lady Peace. One of the biggest bands of the '90s in Canada. They're still together, I think. But anyway, anywhere in Canada, they would sell out anywhere. They were just huge back in the day, massive. And he was like reading bands, and one of them was like Buck Cherry and stuff. And he's like, "Who are these bands like that?" And he had said something in the voiceover, like he knew when he got there, like reading that, like something was wrong or off, which I think is hilarious. So basically, Moby's saying he knew that like there were going to be problems at Woodstock '99 because he personally hadn't heard of these bands. It's like, okay, Moby.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way they were just talking about, like, yeah, how DMX was doing like a call and response thing and getting the audience, predominantly white audiences, to sing out like the N word and stuff like that. Like, I don't think DMX did anything wrong. That's his music, and that's his choice. And I get it. There were probably some of these white kids in the crowd who got a kick out of it, right? They're like, ooh, this is a chance for me to yell a racial slur and nobody will get mad at me. But, I mean, I don't think that created a bunch of racists. Like, I don't think DMX did anything wrong. Is he supposed to change his set because he's got a predominantly white audience? Fuck.
No, if you drop an A at the end and you're singing along and you're at a concert, I think it's
Right. I
it's
think
not
that's
the
fine,
same.
too. Like, you know, context is everything. But they were all acting like
Especially
DMX
if
had
the
acted.
artist is asking you to.
Yeah. And DMX, like, he wanted them to. He's, like, pointing the mic at them and stuff. You know, I mean, I think it was a great moment for DMX because it was the biggest crowd he'd ever played. It was a predominantly white, and it showed that most of these kids, you know, they came for rock and roll, but it showed that he had a lot of fans even in that. You know, most of these people came to see, you know, Metallica and Red Hot Chili Peppers, but a lot of them still liked DMX enough to really get enthusiastic and into his set, which I think is a big compliment and a great thing for his career.
No rap artist has ever dropped 2 albums in the same year and gone platinum.
Except him.
1998, DMX's first 2 albums. Yeah.
Pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but I mean, I respect him in his career. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. They're making the way up to the heliocopter. Does that one get blown up or something? It can't be this easy, right? We probably lost some of the people along the way, but I was talking about other stuff. I don't know what's going on. Alien. Soldier girl shooting up some aliens. Jesse's still alive. Is the blonde still with them? I think the blonde gets killed. Did we miss it? I don't see her. Shit. Did we talk through the blonde getting killed? Because I think she does. She's not with them. Damn, we missed her death.
I was watching the whole time. I didn't see it.
No, she's not with them now, and I remember that she does die. All that's left, I think, is the cop, Jesse, the soldier, and her daughter. I think that's all that's left. So, a bunch of people got killed. The blonde, she doesn't like get killed quickly either. Like, it's a drawn out thing. Like, Rhea has time to talk to her. I don't know. I'll go back and rewatch later. Just
Ben, I don't know if you're still there, but yeah, I like the Fast and the Furious. I don't really like the rest of them that much, but the first one I like a lot.
I don't like any of them. What's funny is I remember a few months ago the third one was on TV, and I was like, I know the third one's the weird one because you know it has different characters in it. But I was like, well, it's over in Japan. That's kind of cool. And like I remember I watched like 20 minutes of it. And I was like, I can't do this. But I mean, fans of the series don't even like that one because you know it doesn't have those characters in it. It's like a spin-off more so than anything else. But no, I mean I don't mean to pick on stuff that's popular because I mean. People like to pick on, say, like some of the Marvel movies, and that's fine, whatever. But I just mean, no, I cannot. I don't like anything about Fast and Furious. I don't like those actors either. Like they don't even have actors I like in them. I mean, yeah, I had a big crush on Mila Kunis, but she's not Mila Kunis. Sorry, although Mila Kunis counts too. No, Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh yeah,
who is in the first Resident Evil, by the way, and has a really good death. But I mean, but no, I'm not. I feel bad because Paul Walker, by all accounts, was a really great guy. And of course, his death is tragic, right? He was like 42 or something awful. But I thought he was a terrible actor. Not just in that, in everything. I thought he dragged down like every single movie he was in. And I don't like to speak, you know, ill of the dead, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. And there's, you know, I don't dislike him as a person or anything. I just, yeah, I really don't respect his career and don't think he was a good actor. But, obviously, I don't like Vin Diesel at all. And then I know they've had various people to throw in. They threw in The Rock to make it big. They threw in Jason Statham, who I'm mediocre on. I mean, hell, eventually they're throwing in names like Russell Crowe shows up at some... Not Russell Crowe, sorry, Kurt Russell. Got my Russells mixed up. Kurt Russell shows up. Did you see the movie Kurt Russell's in? Alright, so there's supposed to be like a final showdown with the Predator alien. There's our Predator. That's an ordinary alien. The Predator alien's supposed to be around here. I remember some of this. Oh, he's got like a whip. Yeah, that's not the Predator alien. The Predator alien's still around. Where is he? Like, is the whip like made out of one of their tails? It's kind of cool.
I think so, yeah. There he is.
Ah, yeah. So here's like, this is like the main fight. It's Predator alien versus Predator. It's cool too. Like, that is neat attention to detail. You saw that the alien did the weird arm gesture thing that predators do when they say, come on, let's fight. So it is interesting. It shows that even though it's a xenomorph, it's retained some of that predator instinct, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, it's a deeply flawed movie, but it still has some moments. Yeah, we missed the blonde's death. That was not you. Why can't they take off? Oh, I guess they were just waiting for the cop. Yeah, so it's just Jessie, the cop, the soldier, and her daughter, I guess, that make it. This fight would be better if we could tell what was going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because that's one thing I like about the first Alien vs. Predator. The very first, I talked about when we did, the very first Alien Predator fight we see is a really good fight. And it's well shot. Like, you can tell what's going on. It's got good drama, good ending. I liked it a lot. Can't go stealth anymore. Ooh, badass. Take off the mask, too. It's nice of the xenomorph to allow him to do this. But again, maybe it's some of that predator instinct in its head that it retained. Let's go. Yeah, I don't remember how this ends. We're getting there. Yeah, see, jets are like coming in to like nuke the town or something. Maybe that's just how it ends.
Oh, he goes all the way up.
Make it hurt. He's bleeding on him, though. That's the other thing, too, right? Like, see, he's got sort of that...
So the tail comes up, and then he puts his claw through his head.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Yeah. Oh, no, that... Okay, they got broken into two groups? I'm getting confused. Or did they already land? Anyway, bye-bye town. It was a pretty fast response.
Yeah, I think he takes his like Wolverine claw thingies and like shoves it through his head.
Yeah.
And then the alien predator goes through.
It's basically a draw. They double kill each other. Double KO. And then they get nuked anyway. Very fast response from the military. You would think it would be harder to convince people of the situation. The military grasp very quick. Like, aliens, really? And they infect everybody? And nuke the town. Okay, we'll nuke the town. You know, like, it sounds like you would need more proof to get them to do that. Like, Yeah, it probably was the right response because of the threat the xenomorphs pose. Because the whole point is, all they have to do is get exposed to one person, and then they can, make a whole population of them. And the predator running around doesn't help matters, even though the predator's trying to kill them. He's still killing people too. But I'm impressed, like that the military just totally buys it. They're like, "Yep, monsters from outer space are definitely here, and we have to nuke the town. We'll do it." Maybe they're just dying to nuke the town.
Maybe.
They didn't. They didn't need any. Oh, he has the predator gun, does he? Oh yeah, he shot the last alien coming towards the helicopter with it when the kid ran out of bullets. I forgot. Yeah, I think you can put the weapons down.
That'd be funny if he sets it off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put the weapon down, but I don't see why I should have to give it to you. It's mine. I'd be like, this is my alien weapon, damn it. A perimeter for what? I guess they're just being cautious. I don't know, maybe something did survive. I don't know. We'll see what the ending is. Maybe they'll show something survived. I don't fucking know. Have fun in your years of therapy, Jesse. Like, you want to get married? I got to keep custody of my kid. I'm a dyke. I just made that up. My beard husband is dead. God, I made the Pepsi last almost the whole time.
Chug, chug, chug.
I mean, it wasn't full. It was only 2/3 full. Get to the other chopper. Now get off that chopper and get on another chopper. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this. This never goes anywhere, obviously, because the movie was probably a fucking failure. Hell, I don't know. Maybe Parks the Predator from 2018 actually picks up on this. I don't know. Because they got something in that case. Right, they're trying to tie it in to explain, like, how, yeah, see, Yutani. Okay, right? So, for those people that are big Alien fans like me, we know that this is before Wayland Yutani merges. So, at this point, Wayland is one company and Yutani is another. And we're seeing here that Yutani acquired some of that alien technology, which leads to us, achieving space travel and all that shit that we do in the Alien series. So, they're trying something. Yeah.
Huh.
It's not bad. See, people think it's terrible. I don't think it's terrible. There's Walter Hill, still around, part of these movies as a producer. He's been there since the beginning. Good old Walter Hill, one of the more underrated directors of his generation. So yeah, I mean, I get that it's not good, but I can't hate it. I don't hate that movie. I'd much rather hate The Predator or Alien 3. Those are the ones I reserve my hate for. And I think I honestly do like it more than the first AVP, just because of the environment. Even though it's dark as hell and you can't see a fucking thing. So thanks to people that tuned in. And I think Ben was here the whole time. That's cool. Cable Channel 11, thank you for the chat. It's always nice having people tune in, especially to my channel, which, I'm kind of inconsistent with. So I'm not so... I'd forgive people if they didn't know. So has my quality held up? Like my video and stuff?
Yeah.
That's a good sign. That's good to know. I guess whatever they fixed it. I mean, it's to still be better than it is, but at least I can do this again, which is one of the reasons why it was good to get this done tonight, in case I need to do more stuff next week. But thanks so much for joining me, Orc. I know this movie's not exactly a classic, but at least now you can say you watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't hate this movie. It's all right. But Yeah, the only thing, as I've gone through all the movies, the only one left for me to watch now is The Predator. I've watched every single other movie. Although, if you wanted to do like a live commentary on Covenant or something, I wouldn't mind watching again. Have you seen Covenant?
No, those are the only two I haven't seen.
Have you seen Prometheus?
Yes, in the
Okay,
theater.
well then, Covenant works as a direct sequel to Prometheus. So if you remember
Yeah.
Prometheus at least a little bit, it picks up like right on that because it follows up
Yeah,
on
the
some.
dude in the spacesuit and then the big aliens trying to like fuck it.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
much.
totally understand why so many
Yeah.
people didn't like Prometheus, but I actually like Prometheus. I've always been a Prometheus fan. I 100% understand why a lot of people don't like it or are frustrated with it. It's one of those movies, just like Halloween 6, where it has all the ingredients where I shouldn't like it, but I like it anyway. Plus, something over Halloween 6, because it's not great, is that Prometheus still looks fantastic. It is a really good-looking movie. It's still one of the best-looking movies I've probably ever seen, and it's almost 10 years old now. But Covenant goes right back. Covenant is the one that frustrates me, but anyway, because it seems like such a waste. But yeah, we can do that at some point in the future. Anyway, thanks a lot, people who joined us. We appreciate that. And I'm going to let Orc pass out because he's gone the extra miles to stay up for this one for me, which I appreciate. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. And we'll end it here. And we will see you again soon with something else. If not on my channel, maybe on Jay's channel or something like that. You know the drill. So thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.
Happy October.
Happy October. It's coming. Have a good night, everybody.